I mean, I've always been creative. Both my parents are artists, but when your parents do something, you're just like young and you don't want to do what they do. So like I was like, I'm not gonna do the art. But I was doing poetry because I was always been a writer. You know what I'm saying? And like, hold on. Yeah, but since I was little, I was a writer. So like, I would do poetry and I would do all these programs in the school when they would have like, you could take art, you could take poetry, you could take film, something. So I was always doing the poetry, and that just turned into rap. But then I got a computer, so I was learning how to do graphic design, just hustling, like any which way you could possibly make a dollar. Like if it's a CD cover or if it's a website, I started getting nasty with the Photoshop, and something happened when I went to college up in SUNY Purchase, that these clocks came together. And then I had done like a silent auction in the little apartment that they had, like where all the spots they had all lined up, different apartments. And then I just did these clocks, and like they all sold. And I was like, oh shit, I got some bread from this. Like that I just made from that is what I would get for trying to like spend 4 days trying to make this cover or something. So like this is hitting. But it took me, I'm in 10 years in now, and I didn't even realize that until like this other gallery that I was dating a chick with started, and they got a decade book, and I'm like, oh shit. But I didn't really take it serious until like the last 3 years, and literally like all the people that knew me from a kid were like, oh, welcome to the art. Like you finally doing art. Like that was what I was supposed to be doing the whole time, even though I was doing something similar. It wasn't maybe necessarily the clocks, you know what I mean? So it's a crazy transition, but I'm still circling back to the music, and I still do graphic design, you know what I mean? But I might not necessarily do clothing or like music videos anymore because the clocks have just taken off. It's changed my entire life.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. So having parents that are artists, how important is it to you to stay true to the art, but also how important is it not just to become like like a poor artist, a struggling artist, or not just stay in that, because that's seems like to be, it's like a very easy thing that can happen. You
Yeah.
see it happen all the time.
I mean, I definitely got a leg up because my folks were artists, but that just meant that they were like, yo, you could do whatever you really want to. Like my mindset, especially being like a white kid in the lower, and I had long hair, so they used to call me a girl. Like I got thick skin from that. You know what I mean? Just being white and the only white kid growing up, like that shit put me through a gauntlet of things to figure out. And like as much as I was fighting trying to be an artist, because my pops does like pastels, my mom does paintings, and that's not necessarily like my strong suit. You know what I'm saying? I had to like think outside the box and figure something that would be like my lane. You know what I mean? And growing up, seeing my folks be like struggling and trying to pay rent with paintings or whatever the fuck it might be, like however hard shit was, I'm like, I'm not gonna be like that. You know what I mean? I got an opportunity to like flip that and put the art world on its head. Cause once I seen the outlook of how it was really working, like I was like, okay, like I could go mass production with this shit. I want to clock in everybody's house. You know what I'm saying? I can work 3 times faster doing this than someone doing that, and then people just gonna see it and say, "Oh, that's dope," or it's not, or they want it or they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like $100 clock went from like 25 to 50 to 100 now, but like, or a $3,000 painting, it makes it more attainable. So like, for me, I wanted just people to be like into the art, break a new generation of art lovers into wanting to collect art. So I came through it with a completely different approach. You know what I mean? And I got the hunger from being a rapper. Like, I'm competing with people when I do art shows. Like, yo, I'm gonna smoke you at the show. Like, I'm gonna come out and get the most press, sell the most work, have the most dynamic display, and just bring something new every time I do it. So, I mean, I just looked at you look at what was going on in the game before you, and then you learn from that. You learn from other people's mistakes. So I'm definitely like on that, you know.